the first god of the underworld.
And meant great beast, and he was commonly referred to as the Midgard serpent because his body was so big that it could encircle the entire of Midgard. In Norse mythology, there are many great beasts and monsters are depicted as almost mermaid-like creatures who live in the sea. They serve as a warning that looks can be deceiving. They are both beautiful and deadly.
I leave him alone, that's why in a zone. I will watch your tone, you along right from home. Don't fuck with the throne, that should leave you gone. You so unoriginal, you are just a clone, yeah. Stay in your lane, just don't say my name. Set you the flames, no, we are not the same, yeah. It's a fire terrain, the styles of pain. There ain't no running away when the sickness hits your brain.
Some Hellenistic and Roman mosaics and statues that depict him as a muscular bearded man, but there are also depictions of him with the claws of a crab and the lower body of a serpent, a monstrous snake, and in others as a serpent-like dragon.
Bloody Mary, tell me what you just say. You've been talking reckless, you don't want a problem. Murder, 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 so running away. They won't hear you scream.
You awake to a loud thump as the waves crash against the hull of the ship. The halls echo with instructions from your captain. "There's a storm coming, boys." You jump to your feet and race to the top deck. Some of the crew are scurrying frantically to secure the hull, but there are so many of them missing. As you begin to question where they have gone, you hear shouts of "man overboard," and turn to see your peers leaning over the edge of the ship, fixated on the ocean. They begin to jump one by one to almost certain death. As you approach, you start to hear a song rated by the melody. You begin to forget your surroundings. You no longer hear the screams of your crew, or the waves that bombard the ship. You are no longer in a storm. You glance into the distance, and unable to stop yourself, you begin to climb overboard, knowing that it would mean certain death. If only you could warn the rest of the crew of the song. If only you could stop them sharing your fate. But at this point, you are nothing more than a passenger in your own body. As you plunge into the cold, dark abyss, you finally realize that the siren song is the last you will ever hear.
Rude boy, I know you afraid of the dark. Kidnap your soul and control your heart. Body disappeared, you outline any chalk. You've been talking reckless, what's that gun spark? Rude boy, I know you afraid of the dark. You a small fish in the pool of sharks. The battle drums run fear in your heart. Welcome to the land of the lost, yeah.
Oceanus was considered the Titan god of the great encircling river, Okeanos. In ancient Greek cosmology, the river Okeanos, or the river Oceanus as some preferred, was the freshwater stream that encircled the entire world. But as you would expect from the Lord of the Sea, Oceanus is one of the Titans that we do have a fair amount of information on. To his fellow Titans, he presented this outlaw figure, because he did not take part in the castration of Uranus, or the War of the Olympians. To his brothers and sisters, it was clear that his allegiance did not lie with them, or perhaps he just did not care.
You don't want a problem. Bermuda, Bermuda.
Likes of Hyperion, Helios, Apollo, and any other deity associated with the sun, the ancient Greeks saw Erebus and Aether as the sources of day and light, and that is how they explain the cycle, as opposed to the sun, to a place in between the earth and the underworld that souls would have to travel through, as a way to explain the darkness, and in turn its relationship with light, why so many places may have been darker than others. It's the first concept of the Greek underworld that poets and storytellers would then heavily expand upon.